Hello everyone, Unknown Reefer here, bringing you another update on the DD Reef Pro 1500 with two Maxspect Jump 165 LEDs over the top of it. This video will be a 6-month update on how the tank's going. To be honest, it's still going very well. I'm getting some really nice growth. I'm very pleased with the LEDs. Getting some good growth on the Digi then. That SPS that I've no idea what it is, but it's growing out nicely. And I even braved actually putting a bit of acro in here just to see how it gets on. And you can see from the light that new growth ring around that Monty as well. I did actually do a bit of a rock rescape yesterday. I had some more hiding spaces because possibly a mistake, but I've just added a powder brown tang. I've had a powder blue in the past in another tank, and the fox face I had at the time bullied it to death, so it just never got over. This one has actually not been bullied. In fact, if anything, this one's been more dominant over the purple tang and the fox face I've got in there. And he's actually in a lot better nick than the last one I got. Like the powder blue that I got. So hopefully we'll keep him alive. He's only been in there a day, so that's why some of the fish are still a little bit scatty. Getting used to him. The tank itself is holding up really well. Glass is still nice and clear. The sump and the weir are working well. I've had no more issues, as stated in my 3-month video, with any of this dripping. It seems to go in fine. The sump layout I'm still finding very good. The auto top up reservoir I find lasts about a week. A bit less in the winter because we have the heating on, and to dry some clothes out we have a dehumidifier on upstairs a bit, so it goes through it a bit quicker. But generally it lasts about a week. Still have this issue with the doors, which I'll show you that they can close and they're not in line, but you can just close one door and then the other, and then it sits perfectly flush. Other than the issue with the door, and as I said, the issues in my 3-month video of that pipe dripping a bit, difficult to get tight, I'm still really liking it. I might go to a filter roller at some point, but I'm still using filter socks at the moment. I tend to use 2 nylon filter socks, and to wash those out I just take them out, wash them off in a bit of RO or even under the tap, to be honest, and put them back in the tank, so I don't actually change them out. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on the tank again. There we go. I don't change them out very often at all. I just rinse them out and put them back in the tank. Now that could be a problem for nutrients, but last time I tested this a couple of weeks ago, after probably about 3 weeks of no water change due to work and life commitments, and I just couldn't match it up with the tide as I run this off natural seawater. So yeah, it was 10. The Monotro was reading at 10 with 3 weeks of no water change. So that refugium is really doing a good job with the skimmer pulling things out. Now I'm just going to chuck the light on. You might see the tank very well. The only other issue I've had, which is more of a mistake by me, is if you're ever attaching anything inside the tank, don't use this. In fact, we'll take the filter off for this bit. Don't use this to guide how thick the inner wall is, because actually the inner wall, it steps down. So when I attach this phosphate reactor, this nice cheap eBay one, which is working very well, it was a bit thinner than I was expecting, so I managed to go through, honey, that's back down, to actually go through and put some screws through the side of my tank, which did not make me happy. But luckily we've got this tree thing that the wife likes that's there and can hide it. So yeah, it's just a note, just be very careful when you're drilling in to mount anything that this is actually thinner than this front corner. My cable tiding system's still working well. My dosing system's also working well within that. I was dosing no pox, but I've actually just let that run out because I found I was only dosing a couple of mil in the end anyway, and I was having a lot of cloudiness when the no-pox went in. Just it was a bacteria bloom that I didn't need, and as I said, now I've got this Tunzi refugium light to go along with these little USB lights. My refugium grows so well that I don't actually need any no-pox in at the moment. I'll obviously keep an eye on it, but at the moment it seems to be doing well. Now I'll put the lens back on to go over the tank again. Yep, this light off. Now, future plans for the tank. Most things seem to be growing quite nicely, apart from some softies that I've got in the tank. There's a toadstool there, and there's a couple of levers that, although that's showing colour, they're just not growing out. I did think it was due to my low phosphates, but I've been watching some other videos and doing some research online, and there are people that run low phosphates, and their softies do grow, so I've moved them around a bit to some slightly lower light areas, although that toadstool's right in the middle, so that's quite a high light area, but it's further down than it was. So I'm going to give them a few months to see if they pick up, and if not, I will then just there's my powder brown still being a little bit skittish at his reflection. I'll give it a few more months, and if not, I'll just get rid of those and I'll have a replace them with Zoas, because I'm doing alright with Zoas. These ones up here are growing, but these ones off to the edge aren't really showing much growth. I might chop that rock up and dot those around the tank, and then put some other mushrooms down there, because it's not the highest light area down there, and the mushrooms over here seem to be doing quite well. I've had some new heads on the red ones come up. The green ones seem to open out nicely. I haven't really got much growth of new heads, but they do open out nicely, so I'm not too worried about that. I might even put some more over the back there, just to fill in those gaps. I've also just put this other rock in here. It's kind of precariously stuck up in the air for a bit of swimming space for the tanks to go around. So I will probably put 1 or 2 sticks on top of that as well. But yeah, in general, the tank's going well. Hopefully I've not jinxed it by buying a powder blue. But ultimately everything else is working fine. Jump guard's working fine. The little auto feeder's doing its job. All the chromas are quite happy, although most things are starting to go to sleep right now. And I'm getting really good growth and colours. The elegance is usually a lot bigger than that, but my lights are actually just running down. They're probably only on for another hour and a half, so things are starting to go to sleep now, so that will start to sort of get small and pull in on itself, same with the Duncans. But yeah, ultimately still very, very pleased with the Reef Pro 1500 and the Maxspect Jump 165 LEDs. If you got any questions, put them down below.